Hello and welcome along to Mondo Chelloveck Movies. My name is John. I've just got back from the town with the Debs and I treated myself to something that might be a bit of a luxury item, as you've seen from the thumbnail exactly what this is. So today I'm going to sort of quickly give you my thoughts on the comparison between the Blu Ray of American Werewolf in London Special Edition and the 4K of American Werewolf in London Special Edition. Now, as you can see, these titles are very close. These are very similar. In fact, if you didn't know it, you think you're looking at exactly the same edition. So I put the disc into the 4K player and I'll tell you what I thought about it. So first of all, getting back to the original 4K remastered Blu-ray of this. Now, I swore on a previous video that I would never ever go down this double dip route again, or I'll be very skeptical of going down here. Now, this one here, the only reason why I've done this is because American Werewolf in London is one of my favourite films of all time. I've got a very big nostalgia feeling for American Werewolf, as this is the first movie I ever saw, first X-rated movie I ever saw in the cinema when I was 14. We went to the Whitley Bay Playhouse, me and my friend, and we sort of went in in the afternoon and we had to sit through Elton John in New York's Park concert when he was dressed as Donald Duck, to sit through this classic. So they were just, after that, we just stopped in and we watched it on the evening time as well. So we saw Elton John twice and also this movie twice. Although I don't really remember much of the Elton John movie, but I do remember everything about this. This was a revelation for me. Imagine seeing this when you're 14 after not knowing that something like this could exist. So it was a no-brainer for me to pick up this version here, because I had this on other Blu-rays, but the other Blu-rays always looked a little bit, poor, or they didn't have many special features on, but this one here had everything on it. So in this set you get some, you get the poster, you get a booklet, you get the one Blu-ray disc, and you also get art cards. I think you get 6 art cards. So in this presentation box. Now, I have watched this one, I watched it fully, and I haven't watched all the extras on here because there's a lot of extras on here, and I do rate this very highly. As a Blu-ray, you can't go past this, and it just looks astounding. So, of course, what have Arrow done? What they usually do is they'll put out a new version of it on 4K, because they've done a 4K remastered Blu-ray. They'll do a pure 4K disc. So that's what I bought today. So for £30, I picked up this. So the reason why I went for this one is because, like I said, it's one of my favourite films of all time. I've got so much nostalgic memories about this. When I put this on, I can picture myself as a 14-year-old sitting in the Whitley Bay Playhouse, being sort of amazed by what I was seeing. So I kind of knew I was going to get this set. I was going to sort of wait and see if I could get it cheap. I think this might sell out, this one, maybe. But I think the RoboCop one that's coming out, I think that'll be on the shelves for a long time, like the other special edition Blu-rays, or has been. So for that reason, I think I'll let the RoboCop go into a sale. But this one here, I just thought, well, it was there, it was £30, which I don't think is bad for this particular edition. But bearing in mind, it's very similar to this one in its presentation. I'll get more into that in 2 minutes. But I just looked and I thought, right, I'm just going to go for it. And it depends how close it is to this box set is going to be. Do I keep this box set? Do I just keep this one? Which way am I going to go with it? So firstly, I'm just going to go through what was in this set. You do get a poster, which is exactly the same poster as the one in that set, unfortunately. But if you don't have that set, this is going to blow your mind, like it did for me. But basically, I've got 2 posters exactly the same. They're amazing posters. This artwork is absolutely amazing, which is off the front cover. And this poster here as well, I think that's an amazing poster. It looks somewhat of a giallo poster, although the movie is not what you could consider a giallo. So you get the poster, but the poster is exactly the same in there. The next thing is you get a booklet. Now, this is a lovely booklet, as Arrow do. It's full of stuff. It's got loads and loads of good pictures in here. It's really well presented, and it's got a lot of text in here. Very interesting, and one of the better booklets I've seen. But it's exactly the same as the booklet that's in there. Although it does have a different thing about the restoration on here, which is slightly different to that one. So that's another thing that's more or less exactly the same as that. Now, in the other ones from Dario Argento, they did sort of try and change the text a slight bit, and they did change the colour or the font of things, but this is more or less exactly the same booklet, although it's probably a little bit of a repress because it's got a code on here in the back, and I'm going to see what the code on here is on the back of here. I have to make sure I don't get these mixed up and get the wrong one in the wrong box. So you do get a great booklet. What I'm sorting about here, they got the poster, which is brilliant. You get this, which is brilliant, but it's exactly the same as that. So if you're looking for something that's completely different, you haven't got anything yet. In the 4K disc, I've flipped over the cover. Now this cover here is exactly the same as the flippable art on this one. So you, apart from a different coloured box, you're getting exactly the same version there. Wow. I've had a brief look at the special features on here, and they do look exactly the same as the one on the Blu-ray. But to be honest, when it was on the page, when it was showing you what it was, I think the 3 pages of special edition features, it did look like it was set out a little bit differently. So there might be a difference slightly in these 2 special features. Although at first glance, I can't see what that would be. So I do like this flippable art. It says American Werewolf London, the monster movie. That's I can't remember that actually seeing that on the original poster, but there you go. So in here you get 6 art cards. You also get this for a forthcoming movie, which I've never heard of before. That seems to be quite intriguing. Now your 6 art cards are thusly. This is that, and they're all the same on the back. These are your 6 art cards, and the great art cards. But are there any different to the ones in the Blu-ray? The answer is no, they're exactly the same, which is another kind of shame. So you've got your R cards here, but they're exactly the same as the one in there, so there's no difference there. So the only thing I've got really left to talk about is the sound quality. Actually, it's in Dolby 5.1 or Dolby 1.0, and it's an effective soundtrack. You can really feel when you put the 5.1 on, you can feel it actually come to life a bit. So, but they're exactly the same, the soundtracks. So the only thing left to talk about really is the disc. Is the 4K anything different or a noticeable upgrade from the Blu-ray? So because that's a 4K remastered Blu-ray and this is a 4K, you think they're going to be quite close. Now, well, I've had plenty of talk about the fact that the Dario Argento ones looking quite similar, and I mean quite similar. The only thing changing them sometimes is basically the colour or something in the dark features. So I put this on, and I can safely say that this is quite an upgrade, actually, compared to the Blu-ray. The Blu-ray looks nice, don't get us wrong. It's got great colours in it, but so is this. Now, David's jacket, it's just so vibrant. I mean, it's nice. You can see it a mile off on the Blu-ray, but on this one, it just comes to life. Now, I checked out some key scenes on both movies. I checked out the time when they were in the slaughtered lamb, and actually the face features and the clothing on this one is much better. The colours on here are very vibrant, and the greens, the reds, people's clothing and everything seems to stand out. So for me, this is, and the bit rate on there on the Blu-ray is about 35 megabytes per second, and on this it's nearing 100. So there is I think there's a noticeable upgrade. But for £30, is that all you want for your upgrade for your money? So that's all you're really getting, actually, if I'm honest. But for me, I'm not that bothered because I did want this in 4K. I've been wanting it a lot. I've seen a lot of people picking them up from Germany and all that type of thing, and they were quite tempting to get them. If you wanted to do that, you could get one that was a completely different version to the Arrow Blu Ray. But for me, I do like this one, but the reason it's so close to the Blu-ray in the presentation of it and everything you get with it, it means that the Blu-ray is probably quite redundant to me. You only get one 4K in here, you don't get any Blu-rays as well, just bear that in mind. It would have been nice, actually, though I don't really need to play the Blu-ray anymore, to have the Blu-ray, the special features on the Blu-ray, separate Blu-ray, and keep this one purely for the 4K. But I can't knock the 4K on here. The 4K looks really spectacular. And this being one of my favourite horror films of all time, and one of my favourite films of all time, actually, it was a no-brainer to pick this up on 4K. So that's my thoughts on this this presentation here. You really are getting something that is it's probably the most similar one that I've seen thus far. Even the Dario Argento ones are a little bit different. If they could have put some different artwork on here, they could have maybe changed the poster, they could have changed the booklet, but sadly they didn't. But in the end of the day, I'm quite happy with what I've got. It does really make me think that the Blu-ray, I have kept the Blu-rays for the Dario Argento stuff, but this Blu-ray here could be completely, like I say, redundant. But at this moment, I'll keep it on the shelves, but in the future, might be one that I can just let go. Okay, so final thoughts on this is, I did think it looked and sounded absolutely spectacular, and I can't wait to watch it again. I have watched it for a little bit, and I do think that this one will be obviously the one I watch from now on, and I do think that this is quite a good little upgrade. It's probably the best upgrade I've seen thus far of the 4K movies that have come out previously on remastered Blu-rays. I haven't got Phenomena because the box set for Phenomena is phenomenal, pun intended, and I don't know if I like the movie enough to sort of see it in the 4K. I don't think I paid £32 for it. This one here, £29. To be honest, I think if this was £25, I think it would be a better price, because of basically you're getting a really big double dip here. But I'm happy with it. But bear in mind what you're going to get with this movie is, yes, it's an upgraded 4K. It looks lovely. I'm really happy with it. But as the presentation goes, you're kind of looking at the same presentation. So it's up to you, depending on which way you want to go with that. So anyway, final thoughts is that it's a bit of an expensive treat to myself, but it is what it is. I've went for it, and put it this way, this is the last time I've ever buying this movie. How many times do I say that? So this is just a quick comparison video to give my thoughts on this quite spectacular 4K, but it really is quite a similar double dip. And also I've got another video coming out which I shot before, but I didn't realize I was going to do this one, so I thought when I got this one I'd just put it out there to maybe make people make more of an informed opinion if they want to buy this or not. I'm happy with it, but I can understand how people could think, wow, that's so similar, it's a bit of a rip-off. But Arrow have got to start taking a bit of initiative now, start going for movies like Inferno and Tenebrae. So are you listening, Arrow? Okay, so thanks for watching, you take care, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.